Good morning everyone. Today I am going to explain you 21st lesson from 10th class. The name of the lesson is Social Movements in Our Time. Social movements in our time. So the first topic, background. So in the background, when we observe the background of social movements, mostly after the Second World War, many countries got independence. So like Vietnam, India, China, Egypt, Israel and more countries, more than 100 countries got independence. But the colonial rule impacted the countries. So the newly independent countries, within the country there is no, most of the countries were poor countries and developed countries which were got independence after the Second World War. Later they fight for development. Within the country there are many obstacles for the development. There is no social equality, there is no income equalities, there are no political equality. So the people fight for their rights within the independent country, newly independent countries. So through this lesson we have learning about some countries which the people, the section of the people who were fight for their justice. So the first topic, importantly, civil rights and other movements of 1960s. Civil rights and other movements of 1960s. In this topic, civil rights movement was happened in many countries. Importantly, we have learning the civil rights movement was happened in America. So within the America, the large number of the people means it is the capitalist country, the government, the liberal democracy, multi-purpose, multi-party system is there within America. Even though there are a section of the people was derived for deprived people. The section of the people did not get justice in America after the independence. America achieved independence in 4th July 1976, but even after that, a section of the people who were Afro-Americans means black people, did not get justice. The white people dominated the society. The government of America was formed by white people. White people made many acts which were against the Afro-Americans. People were discriminated. Black and white, the differences are there in America after the independence. Till it is continued 1965, later the acts were made favorable to black people. Now we have learned how the people can have the inequalities in America. So there are inequalities in many places, like in the schools and in the public places, even in the buses. They were not have equal treatment. They were discriminated and they allotted separate places. They allotted separate places for living also. So shows many differences, like in buses, they reserved and comfortable seats were provided for white people in the buses. Black people was allotted back seats in the buses. Only they have to occupy back side seats in the buses. Like discrimination is there in the place of buses. So the reserved seats and the comfortable seats were reserved for white people. So like discrimination, whoever led the equal justice, equal treatment, for equal treatment of Afro-Americans in India means Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King, who was led this movement, and he fought for equal treatment of Afro-Americans against the white government. So, especially in the place in 1956, they came together. All the black people came together and they boycotted the buses in the Montgomery. Montgomery is one of the city in America. There, the black people were boycotted all buses. They did not get in to the buses. They boycotted. So in that particular place, Montgomery, the large number of section of the people were black people who were boycotted in the buses in 1956 due to that reason. The buses got losses. Means the bus companies, the travelers who were on the buses who were got losses, and they went to the court. The court was gave judgment. The judgment was favorable to black people. The judgment was given that ban the segregation in the buses. Should give equal priority in between the white and the black people. That is the final judgment given by the courts. According to that judgment, they can get some justice in the buses. So like the movements were continued. So mostly Dr. Martin Luther King led these movements in the non-violence method. They adopted non-violence method. They conducted demonstrations. They conducted rallies and meetings. They conducted civil obedience. So that is about one of the example we have discussed about how the discrimination is there, had there in India, in America, USA in the olden days. So later, the another discrimination in the schools. The black people have their own schools. The black people did not allow to the white people's the schools. The white people had their own schools. There is no equal education facilities in between black people and white people. White people had their own schools. They run their schools. The black people children did not allowed to the white people's schools. So the black people had their own schools. Like the discrimination, also by the discrimination, they fought for the justice and they demanded the equal treatment in between the black and white. So these all are the movements were held in America for equal justice. And also on 20th August 1963, the massive demonstration was conducted in Washington, America. It is become very successful. The date on 28th August 1963, in that demonstration, Dr. Martin Luther King gave his speech and he enlightened the black people, and they demanded the white government should be implement such acts which were brought equality in between white and black people. So they demanded to provide decent houses, provided to employment, to the equal employment to the black people, and also they demanded right to vote, etc. So like demands, they rises and they fight for non-violence method. So at the same time, another prominent leader in America is Malcolm X. Malcolm X was one of the important, prominent, another black leader in America. He was demanded his views is that it is necessary separate nation for black people. Within the America, it is not possible black people to get all the rights. So all black people should together they fight for their separate nation. Within the separate nation, they have justice. They will get justice. So that ideology was raised in America, and some section of the people gave support. So if it is necessary, the armed conflict, if it is necessary to do the armed conflict for their freedom, for their separate nation. So like that views was raised. In spite of all these things, the women, black women also, large number of the black women were participated in this massive movements, in the rallies, in the demonstration that was held in 20th August 1963. The women also, large number of black women were participated, but unfortunately black women did not identify, did not give the importance for black women. So they started to make new organization for their justice as well as against the white government. They chosen their own way, and along with they extended their support to the black people. So like the movements, so many social movements were held, and they demanded to equal justice. Finally, gradually, the American government was made many acts after 1963, made many acts which were provided so many facilities, equal facilities in between the white and black people, and also they adopted secular ideologies also. So that is one of the topic we have learned. Another one topic, second one is human rights movements in USSR. USSR was formed in 1924. At the time, USSR is not a single country. The USSR, it is along with Russia, there are 15 countries were allied with the Russia. So these 15 countries, Latvia, Lithuania, and Belarus, Ukraine, Romania, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, like the 15 countries which were part of the USSR. So, but gradually these countries found the injustice. The local people in Ukraine, local people in Latvia, Lithuania, and Finland, these people were demanding the democratic principles. USSR at the time, it was adopted the socialist communist policies. They implemented democracy, but under the restrictions. There is no fundamental rights, there is no freedom of press, total full freedom of press. There is no right to speech, there is no right to conduct rallies, and there is no expressions. So the discrimination means, in spite of that, they provide equality to all the people. At the same time, some restrictions are there within the USSR. They followed communist ideologies which are not accepted. They gradually not accepted other countries like Ukraine, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, etc. So the local struggles were started. They demanded full freedom of press instead of the obstruction. So full freedom of press instead of the censor. So they demanded to give to freedom of expression. They demanded to give the freedom of fundamental rights. So they started to struggle for liberation. They also demanded to implement the multi-party system of ideology in some countries. So the movement, that is human rights movement in USSR it was happened during the time after the USSR was formed gradually. Finally, in 1991, the USSR was dismantled and accepted the proposal, accepted the demand for the independence. They gave independence to other allied countries after 1991. So these two topics we have learned today. Tomorrow I will explain another topic.